Ninja, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is the second episode of Get Ready With Me to Get Hired in 2020 or whichever year you are watching this video. So today we are going to talk about the things that you have to consider if you really want to apply for any job in the BPO industry. So if you're interested, keep watching. Hey, before we start, just want to shout out the Call Center Confidential. You may check out his Facebook page to know more about his journey through his digital book series and to learn a lot of tips to pass your call center interview. Have fun! I'm saying watch this video first before you apply for a BPO job because a lot of people just jump into job application without realizing the costs or without realizing what they are getting into. AKA me when I first started applying for a job before. I was clueless. I did not know what I was getting into. Thankfully, everything went well, but you don't want to risk that because we are already in an era where you can simply go online and search for the information that you like. And that aside, there are also other more important things to consider before you start applying. So let's begin. First, of course, you have to have a proper mindset. I always say this because a lot of people that I encounter, they always tell me that I'm scared to apply because I'm not good with speaking the English language. I don't know how to type fast. I'm not even sure if I get hired. You know what? Just forget about it. You know, if that is the mindset that you have, then you will never succeed in what you want to achieve in life. So the very first thing is to, remove those limiting beliefs that you have about yourself, that you cannot do it. When you have the proper mindset, you will most definitely will get to where you want to be. Now, first question I have for you is this something that you really want to do? And by this, I mean, do you really want to apply for a call center or a BPO job? Is this something that you have decided for yourself? Is this your choice? Going back to the previous video that I've posted, and if you haven't watched it yet, I will link it up here. Again, you always have a choice. And I'm saying this because it is very hard to do something if you are being forced to do it. So if you really, really want this in your heart and you have set your mind that I am going to enter the BPO industry, and that's good because you have already set your mind to get a job in our industry. Now, let's just say working in the call center is not really your plan. It's not something that you really want to do, but you just have to do it because maybe you want to earn money, maybe you just want to step up and just start somewhere. Let me tell you this, it is okay. You will really never know what's gonna happen if you don't try it, right? And there's no harm in trying. However, if you feel that you're really being forced into doing this, you have to reevaluate your choices and you have to go back to the drawing board because if you don't want this job at all, but you're just forced to do it because of some reasons, then it is so difficult to go to work every single day when you already have that notion in your head that you don't like the job. Although it can happen too that you will eventually love the job or like it. But then again, going back to what I've mentioned earlier, when your starting point is that you really don't like this, then you will not exert the needed effort that is required to get to the BPO industry. So how long can you sacrifice what you want to get into the industry? Or how far will you give or accept or sacrifice just to get to the BPO industry next year? The answer will be on you. Okay? I'm not going to put words on your mouth because again, at the end of the day, it's going to be your decision. Number 2, are you ready? Well, I always say that you can never be completely or 100% ready to do something, which is why even though, say, you're just 50% ready or 85% ready, go for it. It's like what I said earlier, you will never really know unless you try. A lot of people wait for the day when they will be ready to do something, to apply for a job or to take on a new role. And most of the time, those people are likely just waiting for nothing or waiting for forever because they wait until they feel completely ready. I'd say take on the challenge even though you're not completely ready yet. And even though you're not very confident yet, it's okay because eventually you will become confident once you start working or once you start applying for a job. So go for it if you really want it. Number 3, let's get to the practical part. Do you have some sort of funds or source of funds for you to start working or to start applying? One thing that a lot of people overlook is that there is a cost to applying for a job, and that is something that you have to consider even though you haven't started the job yet. Remember, when you're applying for a job, you need to have your allowance to get to your destination. You need to have funds for your pre-employment requirements, for your food or snacks for the day, depending on how long you're going to be waiting to get hired. And not just during the application stage, but also during the first few weeks of working. Of course, you don't expect to receive your salary on the first day of the job, right? You're gonna have to wait probably a week or 2 weeks, and in some cases, maybe even a month. It depends on your start date, because some start dates and hire dates may fall after your payroll cutoff, which means that you'll not have salary for a whole month. So are you ready for that? Do you have money to go to work every day? Or if you live nearby, then you can walk if that's possible. Do you have money to eat every single day? If the answer is no or very limited, then I suggest you watch my video about that. I will link it up there, how to apply if you have limited funds. Number 4, the night owl lifestyle. So are you ready to be nocturnal? Are you ready to sleep during the day and to be alive, alert, enthusiastic during the night? If yes, then that's good. If not, then you might need to do some adjustments with your activities during the day or your sleep schedule, because your life will really change. As I've mentioned, you will be spending most of the night awake, and not just awake or half awake, but also alert and enthusiastic because you will be working at night. Most call centers are operating at night. You're lucky if you get to work mid-afternoon or in the morning for some Australian accounts, but for a lot of North American or Canadian accounts, it's really going to be at night. For the most part, this is not just during the weekdays or the working days, but also during the weekends. And I have to say that you will also sacrifice a lot as you are still starting. What kind of sacrifice? Of course, again, your sleep schedule, your time for your friends or your family. If you're used to going out during weekdays or weeknights, then that may not happen anymore. But then again, think of the bright side. You are doing this because you want to get a job or you want to work, right? You are not doing this because you want to socialize every day. Now you have to face the real world. This is what happens. Working people don't just go out every single day and spend money every single day. You really have to work. But don't worry too much about that, because for sure, as you go along with your journey, you will get used to it. I have spent 7 years in the call center industry, and my schedule was definitely 24/7. Not 24/7, I have experienced 24/7 kind of schedule, like name it, and I have experienced it. So it is okay as long as you try to live your healthy lifestyle as much as you can and get enough sleep. It's all about balance. You will definitely thrive in this kind of industry or environment if you have the will to do so. Number 5, have you brushed up on your English communication skills? Let me tell you this. The call center or BPO industry is not all about learning to speak English or being able to speak English fluently or excellently. But you also have to know that a huge part of the call center industry and its operations is actually about speaking English well and comprehending American customers. So although it's not the end-all be-all of everything, it's a big part of the industry. And if you feel that you're not yet confident with your English speaking skills, then you still have time to practice. I have a whole playlist about that. I'll link it up here, how to build your confidence in the English language, how to improve your communication skills. It takes practice, although it doesn't take overnight, but I believe when you really work on it, you will improve, you will progress. And of course, aside from that, you also have to prepare for the different tests. How prepared are you for a typing test, for a listening test, for a skills test? So it depends on the type of account that you're getting into. You also have to review those things if you don't feel confident yet. But otherwise, those are general knowledge exams that you can always search for online. And if you want to review more, I also have a playlist about that. I'm ready. I will give all these resources to you for free. You just have to spend some time watching my videos and comprehending and understanding them. Number 6, family responsibilities. If you are married and have a kid, is there someone who can babysit for you or for your kid when you are at work at night? Remember, you'll be working at night, right? And during the day, although you can always take care of your child, you also need to rest and sleep because you need to work at night, right? So you really have someone to be there to take care of your child. I'd say about 90 to 95% of my trainees before were always absent or late to work because nobody can take care of their kid or kids. And that really affects your work lifestyle and also your learning, especially when you're still starting or when you are still in your training phase. So I suggest you prepare for that part because it's very crucial. And of course, who are we to tell you to just leave your kids at home, right? Of course, family first. But if you are already starting to work, you have to build a workaround so that someone will be able to take care of your kids and you'll also be able to concentrate on your work or your job at night. You wouldn't want to keep thinking about who will take care of your kids every single day. That's just not gonna work based on how I see it because of the experience that I've had with my previous trainees who have the same setup. I mean this in the most practical way. These are some of the sacrifices that you really have to make. I mean, I'm married, I have a kid, and that's one of the sacrifices that I had to make before leaving my kid at night and knowing that someone is there to take care of him. Number 7 is your health and safety. So where do you live? How safe is it to leave your house at night or to go home at night or the wee hours of the morning from work? Do you have the right mode of transportation to get to work on time and safe as you can be during a rainy season perhaps? So you also have to consider those things. If you live far away, then maybe you can consider moving to a nearer place to your workplace, or maybe renting an apartment if you can already afford it. If not, then you really have to spend an hour or so to make sure that you get to your work on time. Aside from the transportation part, you also have to have yourself checked. When you apply, you have your medical checkup before you get hired, but it's also important that you're aware of where your health is at this stage in your life, because again, you'll be working at night and there will always be a lot of risks when you're up at night all the time and when you don't get enough sleep. So always have yourself checked and see if you're fit for this kind of work. I hope this video helped you think about things, contemplate about what you need to do before you apply for a call center or a BPO job. And if you like this content, don't forget to like, subscribe if you haven't yet, and share it with people who can benefit from this video. I'll see you again on the third video episode of this series. Take care and bye!